Where was the leader? Oh, what the fuck was that sound?
That was Asher.
Asher.
Oh.
You know what? Fuck you.
He's dead. Y'all recommended this, and by the end of this, I'm probably going to hate y'all for it. Because some of these videos by Mr. Ballin they tap a certain part of my brain that just makes me uncomfortable. You know those moments where you like second guess yourself, you like look out your window, and then all of a sudden you think you see something, and you're just like...
Yep, I did that earlier and closed the curtains.
Yeah, I did.
I heard it tapping.
The one
and
movie,
I was like...
there was a movie that me and my dad watched. The Zack Snyder remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Mm.
And I will never forget leaving the theater and looking at we watched it at the cinema. I remember looking down at the road, and all of a sudden I look away, and out of the corner of my eye, I think I see someone like running. I'm just like, I thought like
Whoa.
exactly. I thought like something horrible was happening, but no. Turns out my mind was playing tricks on me, and my mind does that whenever I watch shit like this. It always just like it itches that little part of the brain that just makes me fearful of some things, and I don't know what to do with it. I'm just like, damn it.
After I originally saw The Grudge, I was like getting out of the car at the house and realized how dark it was outside, and I looked down and just realized how dark it was under the car, and I just kind of stepped back from the car because I was waiting on like
a hand
or something.
I couldn't watch The
waiting
Grudge.
on a hand to grab my ankle and see that face.
There's two
The shower
movies.
scene got me.
I swear to God, there are two movies that my dad... Oh, well, one of them I can understand was ruined because it's a shitty movie. But The Grudge was one of them that my dad absolutely ruined for me because I couldn't stop laughing at some things. Because it was just like the one where the girl gets like taken while she's in bed. She like lifts her covers up and the girl's in the bed and she like takes her and she just like goes into the mattress and the blanket or in the blanket goes flat.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was just like, God dang mattress police, man. She shouldn't have pulled the tag off the bottom. I'm just like, shut up, Dad. And the other one...
I couldn't imagine that. I had other people say the same thing. They were like, it was so goofy, I couldn't take it seriously. And I'm like, that had some of the most bone-chilling scenes I've ever seen in my entire life in it.
Nick, you gotta admit this, though. The original, Ju-On, is a much better film.
Yeah, obviously. But, I mean, like, I hadn't even seen that when I saw The Grudge. So it was still, like, really fucking creepy to me.
And you see, the other one was Darkness Falls. Darkness Falls, I swear to God...
That's just not a good movie.
Yeah. That's the thing. I have never laughed...
cousin.
I have never laughed so
Chance's
hard...
cousin's ex-person, you know, I think...
I have never laughed so hard at a horror movie in my entire life. Me and my dad were just in there riffing the whole time. Just like the dude goes flying through the windshield of a car. You go flying through a windshield, you're cut up, you're like concussed, you're hurting. This guy goes flying through a windshield, rolls out of it like he just dove out of a window for an action movie, and like goes and hides behind a tree, and it's just like... And then my dad, and I remember when the dude like goes flying through the windshield, all of a sudden my dad just goes, should have been wearing your seatbelt. I was just like, and then of course when
So the scene was stupid to start with, and he just had to make it even more stupid.
Yes, that's how my dad works. I love him. I love him for that. But the other thing was just the stupid scares throughout that film. Like we were just dying laughing the whole time, just like how horrible the scares were. It's just like, it was not a well executed film. Remake that one, and you could probably do 100 times better.
Fun fact, because I don't think I've told you, Kate, but my bro Chance has a cousin who was married to the director of that movie.
Oh.
So That's
Interesting.
what I was talking about.
Let's go ahead and get into this. John, I'm sorry about us riffing on like shitty movies while we're supposed to be terrified by your videos. But this is the most terrifying
lighten the mood before what's probably about to happen.
Yes.
The train derailed.
Yes, yes.
Slowly getting back on the track.
Yes. The most terrifying killer. The Jayme Closs story.
Cases like this don't happen. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mr. Ballin here. You probably know me from
terrifying.
TikTok. In fact, I bet there's a percentage of people that are on this YouTube video just because they watched my TikTok version of this case, the Jayme Closs case.
No.
So thank you for making the jump and watching the full version. I hope you'll stick around and you'll actually subscribe to my channel because I'm trying to make YouTube my primary medium for sharing stories with the world. It'll be much the same content that
this is one of his
Definitely
first
a better
ones.
idea than TikTok.
Well, yeah, because number one, TikTok pays dick. It pays very little by comparison to YouTube. That's why a lot of people are doing YouTube Shorts now, because YouTube Shorts actually pays pretty decent.
Yeah.
I'm putting on
Number
TikTok.
two,
you know,
TikTok may cause brain damage to people who use it too much.
Yes. I don't use the TikToks no more, because they'll cause all the Dane damage, and the Dane damage, and the brain damage. Oh, hey, Kate, when did you get here?
Scary stories, murder mysteries, unsolved stuff, spooky stuff, dark stuff, just kind of anything that's compelling. And YouTube's going to be the place where I try to do that primarily. And so I'm already committing to doing one video on YouTube a week. I'm trying to make it 2. This is the first week I've done 2, so we'll see how it plays out. I do have 3 kids and other job responsibilities, so it's a little hard to juggle, but I love doing this stuff. So please, if you enjoy this video and you like my content, please subscribe, please stick around. So with today's case, the Jayme Closs case, the reason I ended up choosing this one and making a TikTok version of it and now a YouTube version of it is actually pretty straightforward. It's because even though it's true, if you were to make a movie out of this case, the viewers wouldn't really believe it because the perpetrator in this case has no motive and has no history of committing any crimes. I think he had a parking ticket.
Damn.
And he targets a child. Which, I mean, putting that all together, you don't see that. That is not a popular archetype for a movie. The idea that there are just these random, perpetrators out there just targeting random children and harming them and their families. There has to be a motive, especially when it comes to children being involved. There has to be a motive. And in this case, there really wasn't. And even the perpetrator, when he was in prison, he wrote a letter to Jayme and her surviving family members where he kind of tried to explain why he did it, but even he didn't have strong enough language to communicate what it was. He made it seem like it was pretty complicated, and even he didn't know. He just said, hey, look, I'm not a serial killer. I just had to do this, and I don't really know why. So it's just one of the more disturbing.
Random acts of violence are sometimes more terrifying than premeditated killings. Because random acts of violence can literally come out of anywhere and can affect anybody.
Yeah.
And the fact that it happens scares the ever-loving shit out of me, because it's just like, what if I'm walking down the street and all of a sudden this guy who walks past me is just like, I need to hit this man in the back of the head with a lead pipe. Oh, hey, a lead pipe. Ping! Next thing you know, I'm in the hospital, and the guy, and I was just like, they've arrested the guy. He's like, why'd you do that? He's just like, I don't know.
Like, I don't understand the whole motive thing, because something in the back of my mind has always thought that people just kind of sometimes decide, like, I mean, I think it's all the movies of just like the slasher flicks and stuff of, especially the people trapped in a house with people outside the house style that got real popular for a bit. But something in my brain just tells me that there could just be evil people in the world that just happen to coin flip and land on your house, basically, just out of a roll of the dice, like you're just a victim of circumstance.
Well, yeah, the movie, Strangers, I'll say the second one's better, Pray at Night. But Strangers has one of the more horrifying concepts, just like these people break into their home and kidnap, or and just like tie
Is
these
that the
people
one
up.
where they're like, "Why are you doing this?" And it's because
They
you were
have the
home.
bags on their heads.
Well, yeah, or like the different masks. It's just like,
Mask.
yeah, you're right, Nick. It's just like
Because that's
you
how
guys were
I've
home.
always felt like that's gonna go down if someone like breaks in and tries to kill me or something. You know, it's like, why are you doing this? Because you're home. Like, you know.
Exactly, and that's one of the more terrifying things. Is just like because without motive, there's no like limit on what they can think to do to you, because motive, like for most people,
Motive at least
premeditated
probably puts
motive-
it in that like this person's pissed me off and I don't want them alive anymore.
Exactly, it's just like I'm going to basically just put a bullet in their head and call it a day.
No
call it a
motive
night.
means they're doing it for fun, which means they're probably going to torture you while they do it.
Yes,
So,
and that's one of the more horrifying things.
Disturbing cases when you go into it knowing that this whole thing was perpetrated by someone who had no criminal history. He had no connection to the victims except that he randomly had a chance encounter with one of them. And it just kind of happened. It's just one of those horrible things that even now no one really understands, including the killer himself. So let's dive into it. In 2018, 21-year-old Jake Patterson is on his way to work at a cheese factory in Wisconsin. He'd only been working there for a couple of days. This is like his third day on the job. You know, he's this kind of typical guy leading a typical life in Wisconsin, and he's driving his Ford Taurus. He comes to a stop behind a school bus where middle school kids are getting on the bus, and he's sitting there, and he looks up and he sees for the first time in his life a blonde-haired, green-eyed girl who ended up being 13-year-old Jayme Closs. And as he's sitting there, because this all came out in a very lengthy confession, so we have lots of details about this case. As he's sitting there watching Jayme, who again he doesn't know, get on the bus, he has this realization that she is going to be the girl that he takes. He actually says that sitting behind the wheel, he's like, I realized right then and there that she's the one I'm going to take. And so a guy with no criminal history, he's sitting there coming up with this plan of how he's going to abduct this girl. And it would come out later in his confession, which again was very lengthy, that he put a ton of effort into planning out this abduction. So let's talk about Jake's plan. He takes his father's Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun, which is a very commonly purchased weapon. He assumed that because it is, you know, so widely purchased, it would be hard to track. Okay, so he takes his gun, takes a couple slugs, so he's got his weapon. Then he goes and purchases a balaclava, so a mask, a whole head mask from Walmart. He, you know, he shaves his head, shaves his beard so that there wouldn't be any hairs, you know, for forensic evidence at the crime scene. This is all so premeditated. He went out and purchased gloves and wiped his gloves all so they wouldn't have prints on them. He purchased steel-toed boots and dark jeans and a dark jacket. In the car he was going to use, because he plans on abducting Jayme, and he knew he was going to be keeping her in the trunk. He cut the cord inside of his vehicle. It was the when you press this button inside the car, it would open the trunk. Basically, he didn't want any access to the trunk unless you had the key. So he cuts that cord. He disconnected the dome light inside of his Taurus, his Ford Taurus, to try to better conceal him when he's in the car. I mean, this guy, he's really thinking hard about how he's going to do this. He knew he was going to go in that house, he's going to take Jayme, and he had his big plan, right? 2 separate times, Jake tried, unsuccessfully, to abduct Jayme. He drove to their house the first time, and there were cars in the driveway, so he got spooked and he leaves. He comes back and he's about to drive up the driveway when lights come on, so he leaves again. But on October 15th, 2018, he was, unfortunately, he was successful. It was around midnight when Jake Patterson rolls into the Closs family's driveway. The lights in his car are off, the headlights are off, and he rolls into the driveway. And inside of this very modest home, Jayme was sleeping with her dog, Molly. And Molly hears the car pull into the driveway and starts barking. Wakes up Jayme. Jayme looks out, she sees a car she doesn't recognize, it's the middle of the night, and she runs to her parents' room and she alerts her parents. Jayme's father, James, he goes to the front door with a flashlight. Meanwhile, Denise, that's Jayme's mother, and Jayme retreat into the bathroom where they shut the door. They sense that this was potentially going to be a home invasion, and certainly they were right. So they actually barricade the door with a dresser that was in there, and they get in the tub and they shut the curtains. And so James is at the front door and he watches Jake Patterson get out of his car, calmly walk up the steps to the front door. And at this time, James is thinking that perhaps this is the police. And so when Jake arrives at the door and starts banging on the door, James shines his light out through the window, kind of gets a peek at him, then moves over to the door itself where there's this little tiny window on the door. And he looks through, shining the light, and he says, "Show me your badge." And unfortunately, it was at the same time that Jake raises his shotgun and pulls the trigger, shoots right through the glass, hits James, and James dies immediately. Back in the bathroom, Jayme would later say that when she heard that shotgun blast, that she knew that her father was dead. And I think Denise, her mother, knew that as well, because immediately Denise picks up her phone and calls 911. As she's talking to the dispatcher who said that there were no police in the area, so further confirming that this was definitely not the police, because they didn't see that interaction at the door, they just heard it. Jake at the front door is trying to bust in the door, he can't do it, so he takes his shotgun, ejects a spent round, and then puts a slug through the doorknob, making it come wide open. He pushes it open, steps over the body of James, and begins to search the house. The house is empty, every door is open except one, and it's the bathroom door where Denise and Jayme are hiding in the bathroom. Jake begins to try to push the door open, he can't do it, and finally he just starts trying to smash the door in. And after 10, 15 blows, he actually managed to split the top half of the door open because the dresser was blocking the lower half. He goes into the bathroom and he rips down the shower curtain, and there is Denise bear hugging and protecting her daughter, Jayme, in the tub. Jake hands duct tape to the mother, Denise, and tells her to put duct tape over the mouth and the hands of her daughter. She refuses, she's protecting her daughter. Jake sets his shotgun down, pushes Denise aside, and does it himself. And then, after getting Jayme out of the tub, he picks his shotgun up again, aims it at the mother, turns his head, and he pulls the trigger and he kills the mother. Picks up Jayme, she's only about 5 foot, 100 pounds, and he drags her out to his car, opens up the trunk of his Taurus, puts her in, shuts it, and he's on his way. He was in the house for a total of 4 minutes. He would say in his confession, Jake, that as he's driving away, about 20 seconds after departing the house, he saw all the cop cars coming down the road, and actually police officers would say they remembered a Taurus yielding to the police cruisers as they came in. He makes his way around them and off he goes. And Jayme would say she remembered hearing the sirens and then they fade as they disappear. Jake would drive 70 miles to his house where he would keep Jayme prisoner. For the next 3 months, investigators, the local population, everybody is looking for Jayme. And at the same time, I mean, people didn't have high hopes for her safe return. I mean, in the vast majority of cases like these, where a child's been abducted, unfortunately, they usually don't get home safe. And so the whole community is just devastated. This is gaining national attention. Everybody's looking for Jayme and they can't find her. The whole time, she was being held 70 miles away in Jake Patterson's cluttered, kind of crummy house that was out in the middle of the woods. When they got to his house, he burned her clothes and his gloves and the duct tape. He gave her his sister's pajamas, and then he had her go under the bed, this bed he had in the house, and he barricaded her underneath the bed. And so she had a pillow and a blanket, and she was just underneath this bed. That was it. She basically was ignored. I mean, her captor, Jake Patterson, he puts her under the bed and he warns her, if you leave or try to escape, bad things are going to happen to you. And because she did witness him kill her parents, she knows he's capable of that, and he knows that she knows that he's capable of that. So he had this stranglehold on her where he basically just said, you're staying under the bed and don't you dare leave. And she listened, and frankly, you can't blame her, right? You know, and so she would go stretches of 8, 10, 12 hours of laying under the bed with no food, no water, no bathroom breaks. But ultimately, she was just kind of ignored. There wasn't really a plan for, you know, what was going to happen when she got to the house. He just kind of neglected her. After 2 weeks where he was really on guard, and he told her that he was keeping a shotgun right outside her door in case anything went down with the police, when no one came looking for them, or when no one arrived at his place, he felt very confidently that he had gotten away with his crimes, to the point where he actually, Jayme would say, he started having guests over. You know, he had friends over, and he just told her, stay in the room, don't come out. And so for 87 days, that's how it was. She just was neglected. This poor girl was underneath this bed, you know, just wondering what the heck's going to happen, with obviously no time to grieve over the loss of her parents. Mr. Patterson, he really didn't leave the house. And when he did, I think he left one time to visit a grandparent, and he was very aggressive in warning her that he would hurt her if she tried to leave. But for the most part, you know, he didn't leave the house. But you could tell in looking at this case that he became fairly confident that he was just going to get away with this. And so he actually applied for a job. And he left one morning to go to the interview. And it's kind of funny, on his, in a dark way, he wrote on his, what did he write? On his application that he's an honest, hardworking guy, and under skills, he said he doesn't have much work experience, but he shows up to work and is a quick learner. And so here he goes out to just get a job and go back to normal. And when he left that morning, Jayme, who's under the bed, is just, she's done. She's not going to be a captive anymore. And as soon as he leaves, she pushes aside the barricade of, you know, there's some weights that were there and dressers. She pushes it all aside. She runs out. She puts on his shoes, which are too big for her. She puts them on the wrong feet, and she runs out the door. She doesn't know where she is. She doesn't know anything, but she's gone. A woman was walking her dog around 4 p.m. Her name was Jeannie Nutter, and she sees this girl, this teenager, who doesn't have a coat on. She doesn't have gloves on. It's bitterly cold. They're in the middle of Wisconsin in the wintertime. And she sees her coming towards her, and she can tell kind of instinctively that something's wrong. Okay, this is not just some nice kid coming down the road. There's an issue here. And as she got closer, and the girl said, "I'm lost. I need help. My name is Jayme," the woman, Jeannie, said that she immediately knew who it was. She lived in the area, and she had seen the posters up for Jayme. She knew exactly who she was. She gave her a big hug and held her and said, you know, I've got you. I'm going to take care of you. And so holding her closely, she brings her to a nearby neighbor's house. She said, this is Jayme Closs. We have to call the police. And they go in there, and the homeowners got their weapons out, and they guarded the door, and they huddled around Jayme while Jeannie called the police. And the police just didn't even know what to do. They were so shocked that they had found Jayme Closs that it actually took a minute for them to recognize what they were saying and how urgent it was that you come here right now, because at some point her captor, who can't be that far away, is going to recognize that she's not there anymore. And so they send the police, and you know, luckily Jayme is brought in and is saved.
That's awesome.
You know, certainly not from the emotional toll, but she's physically safe. Jake comes home from his big job interview, and he sees that Jayme's gone, and he sees footsteps leaving his property in the snow, and he goes out looking for her. And you know, just because this is the way things go sometimes, he was immediately rounded up by the police. They found his car, they found him. And as soon as he was pulled over, he didn't resist. In fact, he immediately identified himself and said that he did it. Jake Patterson was given a life sentence without the opportunity for parole, so he will die in prison. But to this day, no one really understands how this could have happened. And going back to what I said at the beginning, cases like this don't happen. There's always some reason for a crime such as this. We can't, as human beings, accept that some stranger has the ability to randomly target a child and go as far as to kill their parents in front of them and hold them hostage when they have no criminal history. There's no red flags. It just, he happened to see her getting on a bus, and that was all he needed. I mean, how could that possibly be the case? But in this unfortunate case, it just is. So that's going to do it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Please hit like and subscribe. I'll be doing stories like this one and many more, you know, mysteries, scary stories, spooky stuff, interesting stuff on this channel at least once a week. So I hope that you will continue to tune in.
We are not watching that.
Please follow me on social media.
No. We are not watching the clown one.
Well, I don't know what
No,
we're watching
Kate.
next.
Nope.
It's like, don't you
Sorry.
like fucking clowns?
No,
Aren't
I do
we
not
fucking
like fucking
funny?
clowns.
Tell you what, if you don't tell me a reason why you don't like clowns, I'm gonna come back here and we'll kill your whole fucking family.
30-30 upstairs.
I hear you. I'm glad that she was able to escape, but at the same time, it's just, wow.
I still feel like somebody has to,
Something
at some
maybe.
level, have something wrong with them. Like, something wrong with their, just, I don't know, ability to, like, I have no idea. Like, that's so weird. I can't even explain it myself. I see what he's talking about. It's to where nobody has any clue. It's like I can't even really theorize much about it. It's like, what?
Yeah, and that's what's terrifying. It's terrifying to think that this random act of violence, this random act of, you know, kidnapping, just...
It's like the closest thing to, like, the only description or feasible thing being, like, literally the devil tempted someone to do something horrible or something like that. You know
The devil made me do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Satan, like, just was like, hey, kidnap that girl. And, like, he just didn't have any ability to say no, I guess, or something. Like, I know everybody who's an atheist is going to be like, oh, shut the fuck up. But I don't know.
Yeah, but...
It's like, you got a better explanation? So I don't.
I really don't know, man. There's just so much that there's so many things that goes on in the mind of just a random individual. Someone you don't know, someone you have no prior or previous experience with, and it's just, it'd be like y'all...
Dude, there's people know perfectly well that something goes on in their head and they do fucked up things that nobody ever figures out for years.
It'd be like if y'all broke into my room and y'all found something horrible in there or something like that, and it's just like it's just like because that's the thing. I mean,
What kind of skeletons you got in your closet, Nate? I'm just kidding.
I still occasionally wet the bed. I'm sorry, I couldn't say it with a straight face.
Y'all have seen my room. Where the fuck am I gonna hide anything?
Yeah, you have no space.
In the ceiling?
Under the bed,
I'm joking.
potentially.
Yeah, I mean, like, your cats have been under there, so they can tell you there's nothing under there but a suitcase with nothing in it right
I
now.
can just see it now. They just come at me like, meow. Subtitles like, mother. It's like, mother, Nicholas is hiding a body under the bed.
I got a shotgun in my closet.
And it's just like, oh, who's a cute baby? Meow. This is no time for jokes, mother. Meow. And it's just like, please look under Nicholas's bed. Something very bad is going on. It's like, who's a cute baby? It's just like,
Not to mention, I would have to be so fucking stupid to be doing anything remotely of that kind of style with her boyfriend and all his fucking guns 3 feet down the hall from me. Like,
Well, I have guns too. I mean, I got.
but
like
he has
4
way
or
more
5.
than you got, and like, I don't know.
well, he's got literally like 2 AR-15s, a shotgun. You've got your 30-30.
I have a shotgun too.
Oh yeah, you got yours as well.
But basically, like, if I turned out to be some evil motherfucker, I'm definitely getting blown away immediately once they figure it out. So,
Yeah. Not to
Fair.
mention, we just bought some buckshot from Nate. So.
Yes. Yeah, they pert. Well, I forgot that
Technically.
Micah bought some of my buckshot, and then what I had left, I was just like, "Hey, Kathan, you want some of my buckshot?" He's just like, "How much?" And I gave it to him like under list pricing. So, you know.
I have buckshot too that he doesn't know about. So.
Ah, okay, fair enough. Well, you got several things that he doesn't know about, and for instance, the vapes.
True.
And you can hide those.
My
from them.
vape supplier.
Yeah. So, either way, though, damn, this is... I hope that Jayme has mentally recovered from this, and I hope that she's doing well.
I can't imagine.
I can't either.
Having to grieve for both of your parents. And then being confined in that small space as well. Like
For almost 90 days?
Yeah, like
Jesus.
that is
This
just
only happened 4
crazy.
years ago, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just...
Didn't realize it was that recent.
Oh, yeah, 2018, man. It's not that long ago, and that's what's so scary about it. That's one of the things that's so scary about it. But either way,
In
though...
Wisconsin, too. I know a girl that lives in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's one of our mods on Discord.
Man, so...
It's
all
just unimaginable.
It is. So, anyway, I think that's going to do it for this, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
This was the most, Mr. Ballin, this was Mr. Ballin, the most terrifying killer, the Jayme Closs story.
Leave him a like.
Yeah, of course. And also, if y'all want to see more from Mr. Ballin,
Also got one, +1 that someone requested one that's really interesting to me, so I think sometime soon. It's short enough, I believe. Like, we should do, cops photographed a demon in a basement. Because I'm just like,
Okay.
A
The
demon
cops,
in
wasn't
the
it?
basement.
I think so.
We are
was
in a
like-
basement.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
do not.
Hey, guys, what's
I
that
don't
over
know
there?
about that.
I was going to say, y'all not see that?
I'm already scared to be down here by myself.
By yourself? You got me and Nick down here.
Yeah,
Like,
but I don't ever come down here unless there's other people down
You
here.
were down here cleaning by yourself the other day.
When it's daytime.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, true.
You
Anyway.
can't tell if it's daytime. There's no windows.
I know subconsciously what time
She's
it
got
is.
her phone, dude. It's like, hey, it's 2 o'clock. Oh, 2 a.m. Damn, I've been down here a long time.
A lot of my favorite horror movie scenes actually
Hoary.
take... Yeah, hoary.
Yeah, you're acting very hoary over
A lot
there.
of my favorite horror movie scenes actually take place during the daytime. That's what makes it scarier.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, the daylight is not protection always.
Nope. Anyway, that's going to do it, everybody. This was Mr. Ballin, and y'all be sure to check more from him. And until next time, I'm Nate.
I'm Kate.
I am Nick.
Y'all be good people. Take care.